House Van Saar is one of the 6 influential and politically powerful clan houses that are located upon the imperial hive world of Necromunda. The members of House Van Saar are said to be a serious and humorless people, with a deeply embedded sense of order and structure, especially when compared to some of the other more anarchic elements of Necromundan society. Of all the clan and noble houses located throughout Necromunda, House Van Saar is the most advanced from a technological standpoint, producing goods such as weaponry, armor, sensory and communications equipment to a quality and standard that the forges and manufactorums of the other houses are quite simply incapable of matching. This capability of producing such high quality goods has also made Van Saar one of, if not the wealthiest of all the clan houses. Indeed, it is even said that the technological knowledge and expertise of House Van Saar is second only to the priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus. This unprecedented technological development exhibited by the Van Saar is due to the founders of the house having discovered a fractured standard template construct. These STCs are near-legendary devices that contain within them the blueprints and specifications for a variety of technologies long considered lost to the greater whole of humanity. So valuable are these STCs to the Adeptus Mechanicus that there have even been cases where those who have retrieved fully functioning examples were given entire worlds to rule over as a reward. The Mechanicus themselves will go to any length to reacquire STCs, and are not above taking them by militaristic force, if necessary. Van Saar's acquisition of an STC, however, has come at a price, for the device in the house's possession, in its current fractured state, is leaking vast amounts of radiation throughout their territory. Because of this, every member of House Van Saar is required to wear specially designed body gloves that monitor their damaged organs, as well as acting as a filtration and scrubbing system for their irradiated blood, in addition to being forced to regularly ingest and inject cocktails of various anti-radiation drugs. As such, the main goal of the house is to find the missing pieces of their STC in order to repair the damage done to it, and hopefully prevent future generations of Van Saars from suffering from the same afflictions as their ancestors. But this leads to one very important question, one that could very well affect the future of the house itself. What could happen if the Adeptus Mechanicus learn of the existence of the Van Saar STC? One possible outcome is that the Mechanicus will send envoys to the planetary governor of Necromunda itself, Lord Gerontius Helmore, and demand from him that House Van Saar relinquish the STC to their immediate custody. Whether Van Saar will comply with such requests, however, is a different matter altogether. Given that such demands ultimately come from the Adeptus Mechanicus, who essentially hold the ultimate authority as well as monopoly on technological research and development throughout the entirety of the Imperium, then there is certainly a minute possibility that the head of House Van Saar may cooperate with such a request, so as to not have their entire house wiped out. But considering that all the wealth and success that House Van Saar has accrued throughout their long existence is due almost exclusively to their exploitation and reverse engineering of this secret, undeclared STC, it seems unlikely that Van Saar will be cooperative in handing such a valuable prize over to another party, as such an action could quite feasibly bankrupt and dishonor the entire house, possibly even leading to its inevitable destruction. Admittedly though, however, there is also a small chance that the Adeptus Mechanicus could very well financially compensate House Van Saar for not only the recovered STC fragments that the house already has, but could also potentially hire Van Saar's services in order to search for the missing fragments, as Van Saar themselves would have the best idea as to which specific locations these remaining STC fragments could be found. But given that Van Saar have known of the STC for generations, and failed to inform both the planetary governor and the Adeptus Mechanicus of its existence, the likelihood of this particular series of events seems, admittedly, doubtful. As such, it would be logical to assume that, instead of complying with the demands of the Martian priesthood, the Van Saar would instead choose to defy such requests, so as to defend the very financial lifeblood of their house. If House Van Saar refuses to adhere to the demands of the Adeptus Mechanicus and the planetary governor of Necromunda, then a few potential situations could arise as a result. The first of which is that the Adeptus Mechanicus, possibly with the aid of organisations such as the Officio Assassinorum, could send agents to infiltrate Van Saar's territories in order to assassinate the house's leaders before locating and seizing the STC for themselves. While such actions may not result in the power struggles that normally occur within the various noble and clan houses after the death of their head, due to the strict hierarchy and order that Van Saar itself adheres to, it's likely that the house will eventually fall into disarray and financial ruin, due to no longer having access to the STC that gave them such a vast technological and financial edge compared to the other houses of Necromunda. This could even result in lesser families and collectives attempting to rise up and overthrow the Van Saar, seeking to claim their position of power for themselves. This wouldn't be entirely unprecedented, as House Orlok conducted a similar such hostile takeover against House Orland in early M38, violently seizing all of the Orland refineries and facilities over the course of a century, resulting in the then Orlok family becoming officially recognised by the Necromundan government as a legitimate clan house. The second possibility is that Van Saar attempts to protect their investment through force of arms, becoming willing to aggressively combat against any and all threats to their house. Van Saar would be able to make a formidable defense against most types of aggressors who invade their territories, due in part to not only their high-quality weaponry and the wealth to hire many mercenaries to fight on their behalf, but also due to the many other rare and powerful pieces of technology that Van Saar has access to, such as the Arachne Rig servo suit. These servo suits combine high maneuverability, defense, and sheer firepower, sporting weaponry such as heavy las carbines, plasma guns, and rad cannons, and as such are capable of wiping out entire hive gangs single-handedly. However, despite the efforts of Van Saar to defy the Mechanicus with militaristic force, even with the aid of mercenaries and the utilization of their advanced weaponry and technology, such efforts may be in vain for a variety of reasons. The first of which is due to much of the more powerful weaponry used by the Van Saar being radiation-based, which would deal relatively little damage to any Skitarii forces deployed by the Mechanicus, who are known to wield rad weapons themselves. Secondly, Hive Primus, the capital city of Necromunda, is also home to a contingent of Space Marines from the Imperial Fists chapter, who reside within a spire at the very top of the Hive, known as the Spear of Dawn. Because of this, it would stand to reason that the warriors of the Imperial Fists would lend their aid to retrieve an STC from the Van Saar, in order to allow the greater whole of the Imperium access to the technological schematics that it contains. Regardless of how powerful the weaponry of the Van Saar may be, and in spite of how disciplined their warriors most certainly are, they would stand relatively little chance of withstanding a combined assault from the gangs of rival houses, Space Marines, Skitarii, Arbites, and the soldiers of the Necromundan Planetary Defense Forces. As a side effect of House Van Saar's actions, Lord Helmore, the planetary governor, could also potentially face censure from the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Administratum for failing to declare, let alone know, of the existence of such a valuable piece of technology upon his world. As such, the Lord Governor could even find himself victim to some kind of unexpected accident as a result of his perceived incompetence in monitoring those under his governance. Regardless of whatever outcome may potentially occur as a result of knowledge of the House's STC becoming public knowledge, it is clearly in the best interest of Van Saar to make sure that it remains a secret to all but those of the House. What do you think? Leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.